الرجیم بسم اللہ الرحمن الرحیم الحمدللہ رب العالمین الصلاۃ والسلام علی نبیہ محمد المصطفیٰ وآلہ الطیبین الطاہرین المعصومین المظلومین ولعنۃ اللہ علی اعدائہم اجمعین رب اشرح لی صدری ویسر لی امری واحلل عقدۃ من لسانی یفقہوا قولی. ڈیئر ویورز، السلام علیکم ورحمۃ اللہ وبرکاتہ. آپ دیکھ رہے ہیں پروگرام صبح ولایت ولایت ٹی وی یو ایس اے پر اپنی ہوسٹ اندلیب زہرا نقوی کے ساتھ. ڈیئر ویورز، آج کا ہمارا پروگرام ہمارے سکسth امام جعفر صادق علیہ الصلاۃ والسلام کی حیات طیبہ کی مناسبت سے ہے. آج کے اس پروگرام میں ہم اپنے سکسth امام علیہ السلام کی زندگانی مبارک پر کچھ روشنی ڈالیں گے، کچھ ان کی جو کنٹریبیوشنز رہی ہیں ان کی حیات طیبہ میں ان کے اوپر گفتگو کریں گے. لیکن یہاں پر میں ایک انتہائی افسوسناک خبر جو کہ آپ سب نے سن بھی لی ہوگی کہ جس کا اس وقت واقعتاً جو ہے وہ بہت زیادہ دردناک، بہت زیادہ افسوسناک نیوز جو آج صبح کی، کہ سعودی عرب میں آل سعود آل یہود نے شیخ آیت اللہ، ایک عالم دین، ایک ایکٹیوسٹ، اور جنہوں نے کہ حق کی سربلندی کے لیے آواز کو بلند کیا، ان کو ایکسیکیوٹ کر دیا گیا، ان کو پھانسی دے دی گئی، اور اس کے ساتھ ساتھ ان کے ساتھیوں کو بھی، سب کو. اور کس الزام کے ساتھ؟ ٹیررزم کے الزام کے ساتھ لگا کر. تو بہرحال ہم اس واقعے کی بھرپور مذمت کرتے ہیں. وی کنڈیم دس بروٹیلٹی آف آل سعود آل یہود، کہ کس طرح سے انہوں نے 47 شیعہ افراد کو، 47 مسلمز کو ایکسیکیوٹ کیا. تو انشاءاللہ العزیز ہم جتنا بھی ان کے بارے میں جان سکیں، بات کر سکیں اور لرن کر سکیں کہ کیا وجوہات تھیں اور کس طرح سے انہوں نے اپنی زندگی کو گزارا. یہاں پر میں بھی آپ کے ساتھ تھوڑا سا پروگرام میں شیئر کرنے کی کوشش کروں گی، جتنا کہ ظاہر ہے میرے علم میں ہے اس کے مطابق. لیکن یہی چیز جو ہمارے سامنے آتی ہے، جس چیز کو ہم بخوبی اندازہ لگا سکتے ہیں اور جس چیز کا ہم بخوبی دیکھ سکتے ہیں کہ ہمیں کس لیے مارا جا رہا ہے. بیکاز وی آر دا فالوورز آف آل رسول، بیکاز وی آر دا فالوورز آف مذہب حقہ، بیکاز وی آر دا فالوورز آف اثنا عشری، بیکاز وی آر دا فالوورز آف دیز 12 امام علیہ الصلاۃ والسلام. تو ہمارا وظیفہ اور بھی بن جاتا ہے، ہماری رسپانسبلٹی اور بھی بن جاتی ہے کہ ہم زیادہ سے زیادہ اپنے ائمہ علیہ الصلاۃ والسلام کی زندگانیوں کو درک کریں اور ان کی سیرت طیبہ، ان کی حیات طیبہ، ان کے بتائے ہوئے راستے پر عمل پیرا ہوں. اور جس طرح کہ میں آج آپ کے ساتھ جو کال ہے وہ بھی مولا کا شیئر کروں گی، لیکن اس سے پہلے میں اپنی مہمان کو پروگرام میں ویلکم کرتی ہوں اور ان کو خوش آمدید کہتی ہوں. السلام علیکم ورحمۃ اللہ وبرکاتہ.
وعلیکم السلام ورحمۃ اللہ وبرکاتہ. ڈیئر سسٹر اندلیب اینڈ ڈیئر ویورز.
جی، ڈاکٹر شہر بانو محسن، آپ سب کی جانی پہچانی شخصیت، اور تھینک یو سو مچ فار بینگ ہیئر ٹوڈے. Even though we're starting, I mean, the news that we got this morning is really sad and it's just کہتے ہیں نا کہ دل بھر آتا ہے. اور ظاہر ہے کہ جو بھی خبریں آج کل ہمیں دنیا کے جو حالات جا رہے ہیں، if we see، تو again it takes us back to the history of our Prophet صلی اللہ علیہ وسلم and our Aima alayhi salatu wasalam. When we look at their lifetime was full of these atrocities. You know,
they had to face so much oppression. And
Yes.
one of the lessons they have taught us is not to be quiet in the face of oppression.
Yes, exactly. To stand up.
And we have seen from the lives of, from our first Imam through our 12th Imam, how they used to face oppression, and with their own actions they used to show people that when something like this happens, then you don't stay quiet, you have to talk.
جزاک اللہ، ویری گڈ پوائنٹ. اینڈ اگین ویورز، جو مولا کا آج کا کال ہے، I was already, reading there and I was really reflecting. It's a good reminder for all of us اینڈ اسپیشلی جو ہم دیکھ رہے ہیں جو حالات دنیا کے جا رہے ہیں, اور اس کے ساتھ ساتھ ظاہر ہے کہ ہماری کمیونٹی میں بھی سسٹر کازماز مدر ان لا شی پیسڈ اوے, اور اسی طرح ہم ایک اور بھی ہماری کمیونٹی کے بہت مطلب کہ ایکٹیو ممبر ہیں, ان کی فیملی میں بھی سڈن, تو وی سی دس آل اراؤنڈ اس. تو مولا متقیان صاحب نہج البلاغہ علیہ الصلوۃ والسلام بھی کا جو قول ہے آج کا, وہ بھی یہی ہے کہ وقال علیہ الصلوۃ والسلام کہ نفس المرء خطاہ الی اجلہ, انسان کی ہر سانس ایک قدم ہے جو اسے موت کی طرف بڑھائے لیے جا رہا ہے. Every step we are taking is toward our death,
We tend to
which is
forget.
and that's the reality of life.
That's the
کہ this is
reality
a
which-
transition, this is a وہی اگر ہم امیر المومنین علی ابن ابی طالب علیہ الصلوۃ والسلام کی اس وصیت کو بھی دیکھیں کہ جو آپ نے امام حسن مجتبیٰ علیہ الصلوۃ والسلام سے فرمائی تھی, تو وہاں پر بھی ہمیں وہی چیز ملتی ہے کہ ہمارا جو یہ دنیا جو ہے یہ صرف ایک ٹیمپرری جگہ ہے, اور یہاں سے ہمیں جو بھی کچھ ہمارے ساتھ جائے گا اونلی our deeds, our اعمال, our actions جو کہ ہمارے ساتھ کے جائیں گے. لیکن جو اور یہاں پہ جیسے کہ اس میں بتایا کہ یعنی کہ جس طرح ایک قدم مٹ کر دوسرے قدم کے لیے جگہ خالی کرتا ہے اور یہ قدم فراسائی منزل کے قرب کا باعث ہوتی ہے, یوں ہی زندگی کی ہر سانس پہلی سانس کے لیے پیغام فنا بن کر کاروان زندگی کو موت کی طرف بڑھائے لیے جاتی ہے. گویا جس سانس کی آمد کو پیغام حیات سمجھا جاتا ہے وہی سانس زندگی کے ایک لمحے کے فنا ہونے کی علامت ہے. یعنی کہ ہم سمجھتے ہیں کہ ہماری عمر بڑھ رہی ہے وقت کے ساتھ ساتھ, جو ہم ایک سانس کے بعد دوسری سانس لیتے ہیں ہم سمجھتے ہیں کہ شاید ہماری عمر میں اضافہ ہو رہا ہے, مگر مولا کے اس قول میں یہ بتا رہے ہیں کہ نہیں, ہماری زندگی جو ہے وہ کم ہو رہی ہے, ہماری زندگی کا عرصہ جو ہے وہ کم, جو ہمارا قدم بڑھ رہا ہے, جو ہماری سانس اگلی ہے وہ ہماری موت کی طرف ہمارا سفر ہے. اور ظاہر ہے کہ ہمیں اس کی تیاری کرنی ہے, اپنی آخرت کی تیاری کرنی ہے کہ وہاں پر ہماری کیا چیزیں ہوں گی, کون سے اعمال ہوں گے جو ہمارے کام آئیں گے. اور پھر آگے فرمایا کہ وہی سانس زندگی کے ایک لمحے کے فنا ہونے کی علامت اور منزل موت سے قرب کا باعث ہوتی ہے, کیونکہ ایک سانس کی حیات دوسری سانس کے لیے موت ہے, اور انہی فنا بردوش سانسوں کے مجموعے کا نام زندگی ہے. So next time we are matlab celebrating our birthday, this is something we really need to remember. And I will share with the viewers whenever we used to have birthday in our family. So my uncle, he was martyred also in 1995 in Pakistan, and Dr. Muhammad Ali Naqvi Shaheed. So he used to tell us, when there's a birthday in the family, he used to tell us that, so 1 year of your life has gone. It's never going to come back. So today is the day that you need to sit down and you need to reflect what you did in the past year and what are your goals. And so ہم سمجھتے ہیں کہ وہی نا کہ جیسے مولا کے قول میں کہ انسان کا ہر قدم جو ہے وہ موت کی طرف بڑھ رہا ہے, اور آئے دن جو دنیا سے ہمیں خبریں مل رہی ہیں, جو کچھ ہو رہا ہے, ہمیں صرف اس جرم میں قتل کیا جا رہا ہے, ہمیں اس جرم میں پھانسی پہ چڑھایا جا رہا ہے, ہمیں اس جرم میں because we are the followers of مذہب حقہ, because we are the فقہ جعفریہ, because we are the followers of صادقین, because we are the followers of آل رسول, because we are the lovers of اہل البیت علیہ الصلوۃ والسلام. مگر ہم اپنے ائمہ کی جب زندگی کو دیکھتے ہیں, جب ان کی زندگیوں کا مطالعہ کرتے ہیں, تو آج ہمارے پاس جو کچھ ہے is because of them. Whatever we have, کہ the poetry that I will share over here, کہ زمانے میں جو چرچا فقہ و دین و مصطفیٰ کا ہے, زمانے میں جو چرچا فقہ دین و مصطفیٰ کا ہے, جو سچ پوچھو امام جعفر صادق کا تحفہ ہے. They went through so much, لیکن we have gained everything from them, from their life, because they were living a very active, proactive life. They were always out there, they were teaching even their enemies. So again, کہ خدا و مصطفیٰ مولا علی کے نام کا کلمہ, if we are saying, if we are believing in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, if we are the followers of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, if we are saying the the reading these call of Amir al-Mu'mineen alayhi salatu wassalam, حقیقت میں امام جعفر صادق کا کلمہ ہے. زمانے میں جو چرچا فقہ و دین مصطفیٰ کا ہے, جو سچ پوچھو امام جعفر صادق کا تحفہ ہے. چلن جو انبیاء و مرسلین و اولیاء کا ہے, चलन जो अम्बिया और मुरसलीन और औलिया का है, ज़माने ने इमाम जाफ़र सादिक से सीखा है, थी औलादे उमैया और बनु अब्बास रस्साकश। और यहाँ पे द टाइम ऑफ इमाम जाफ़र सादिक अलैहिस्सलाम, इफ वी लुक इन द हिस्ट्री, because Banu Umayyah and Banu Abbas were fighting with each other for the government, for the power, for the हुकूमत। तो थी औलादे उमैया और बनु अब्बास रस्सा कश, यही मोहलत का इमाम जाफ़र सादिक का अरसा है। इसी अरसे में हजरत ने मुरतब फ़िक़्ह फरमाई। Imam alayhi salatu wassalam took the full advantage of that time. So इसी अरसे में हजरत ने मुरतब फ़िक़्ह फरमाई, बल्कि सिर्फ इस्लामिक जूरिस्प्रूडेंस का नहीं, बल्कि हम देखते हैं कि मस्जिद नबवी में हमारे आइम्मा ने किस तरह से हर तरह के एजुकेशन को, हर तरह की नॉलेज को प्रोपोगेट किया, लोगों को सिखाया। आज हम कहते हैं ना कि हम मस्जिद में ये बात ना करें, या हम मस्जिद में ये क्या हो रहा है, कोई भी अगर मजलिस से हट के कोई बात हो जाती है तो हम कहते हैं व्हाई देयर आर पॉलिटिक्स गोइंग ऑन इन द मॉस्क। लुक एट आवर आइमा's लाइफ, they were teaching all kind of knowledge from मस्जिद नबवी। तो इसी अरसे में हजरत ने मुरतब फ़िक़्ह फरमाई, शरीयत यूं इमाम जाफ़र सादिक का अतिया है, शरीयत यूं इमाम जाफ़र सादिक का अतिया है, किया वो काम जो सरकार ख़त्मी मर्तबत का था। यानी कि अपने जद के नक्शे कदम पर चलते हुए, अपने जद की सीरत पर अमल पैरा होते हुए, अपने जद की तरह से जबी हरसू इमाम जाफ़र सादिक का शोहरा है। और जो अपने फिर रहे हैं ख्वाजा ओ गौसो कुतब दाता, जो पहने फिर रहे हैं ख्वाजा ओ गौसो कुतब दाता, ये उतरन भी इमाम जाफ़र सादिक का खिरका है। इमाम आज़म व मालिक जो हैं अपनों में कद आवर, ये शोहरत भी इमाम जाफ़र सादिक का सदका है। इमाम जाफ़र सादिक अलैहिस्सलातु वस्सलाम स्टूडेंट are leading their own fiqh and their own religion। and ज़माने में जो चर्चा फ़िक़्ह दीन मुस्तफ़ा का है, हकीकत में जो सच पूछो तो ये इमाम जाफ़र सादिक का तोहफ़ा है। सिले में बैत मिदहत के मिलेगा बैत जन्नत में। दुनिया हमें कत्ल कर रही है, दुनिया हमें फांसी पे चढ़ा रही है, लेकिन हम जानते हैं कि यही अहले बैत सलातो वस्सलाम का जो दर है, यही वो दर है कि जो सीधा जन्नत का रास्ता है। सिले में बैत मिदहत के मिलेगा बैत जन्नत में, ये शायर से इमाम जाफ़र सादिक का वादा है। भला क्या सिब्ते जाफ़र और क्या ये शायरी उसकी, भला क्या सिब्ते जाफ़र और क्या ये शायरी उसकी। शहीद सिब्ते जाफ़र उस्ताद का ये बहुत ही खूबसूरत कलाम है कि ये खिदमत में इमाम जाफ़र सादिक के हदिया है, ये खिदमत में इमाम जाफ़र सादिक के हदिया है। तो टुडे वी विल बी डिस्कसिंग द beautiful contribution of our sixth Imam, Imam Jafar Sadiq alayhi salatu wassalam, was born on the 17th of Rabiul Awwal in the Hijra year of 82.
Yes.
And he is the founder of the Renaissance,
Yes.
of the so many we look
So
at so many
branches
of knowledge.
Yes.
And today the whole human race, the humanity is taking advantage of all those knowledges, all those subjects taught by our sixth Imam, Imam Jafar Sadiq alayhi salatu wassalam. And we are definitely looking forward to Dr. Shahar Bano's discussion, because we know that Dr. Shahar Bano, she is a scientist, she has PhD in chemistry, and definitely looking forward to the program today.
Yes, so the father of chemistry is our Maula Imam Jafar Sadiq alayhi salam.
Subhanallah.
And he had lots of students that went ahead, then they learned from the Imam, and then they went ahead and propagated that knowledge.
Subhanallah.
And it is just unfortunate that people have forgotten who is the founder of all of these branches of knowledge. They have taken from the students but forgotten the teacher himself. Even though the students, when they were learning from him, and then when they have written books, they have all acknowledged and said that we have learned from Imam Jafar Sadiq alayhi salam. So when we talk the one person that comes to our mind is Jabir ibn Hayyan, who was a very famous student of the Imam. And with every book that he would write, every article, science article he would write, the first sentence he would say is, I have learned this from my teacher, Imam Jafar Sadiq alayhi salam. He would always say that. And the same is true with, like all these branches of fiqh that are in the world today. We know that people that follow the Sunni faith, they follow, what is it?
Hanafi,
Hanafi,
Maliki,
Maliki,
Shafi,
Shafi'i, and Hanbali, right?
Hanbali, yes.
So all of these were students of the Imam. They learned from the Imam.
Subhan.
And after they learned from the Imam, that's when they went ahead and then they propagated these different schools of thought. And so it's just unfortunate when you ask these people who is, for example, the teacher of your Hanbali faith, and they don't know. A lot of them don't know where it all came from, where it all originated from, which is just unfortunate, which means that we are the ones who are responsible to propagate that knowledge.
Exactly. So we have to, I mean, while we are reciting mankabas and reciting, these qasidas, in the same time, we should mention their scientific contribution towards the world, they are the founder of so many fakes and so many jurisprudence, and we need to tell the world. We need to definitely go ahead and जाहिर है कि मैं हमेशा यही कहती हूँ कि ये हमारी ज़्यादा रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी बनती है, because we are the followers, we are the Shia Ahle Bayt, we are the Fiqh Jafriya, and Fiqh Jafriya is because of Imam Jafar Sadiq alayhi salatu wasalam's name. That's why we are called Fiqh Jafriya. So I mean, there are so many things that we need to teach people, and we need to talk about these things more and more. And this is how I think we should celebrate their birthday and their tell people about their great personalities and how much because आजकल के दौर में जैसे हम कहते हैं कि ह्यूमैनिटेरियन की बहुत ज़्यादा बात होती है कि जी इंसानियत के लिए क्या किया, इंसानियत के लिए क्या किया. तो these are all the things they did for humanity. They were teaching, even though they were being oppressed, even though they were being persecuted throughout their lifetime. We know that they were put under house arrest, they were always being watched. They had spies spying on them, and Banu Abbas and Banu Umayyah are doing their conspiracies always against them. Then they were poisoned. That's how our Aima alayhi salatu wasalam were poisoned for no जिसे कहते हैं ना कि reason, for कोई खता नहीं, कोई just jealousy, just for the and आज भी उनके फॉलोअर्स के साथ जाहिर है कि व्हाट कैन यू एक्सपेक्ट, वही बनु सुफियान, वही बनु उमैया, वही बनु अब्बास, वो अपने काम में लगे हुए हैं. और जाहिर है कि जो हम फॉलोअर्स ऑफ अहलुल बैत अलैहिस्सलातु वस्सलाम हैं, आज हम भी दुनिया को ये बताते हैं कि शहादत तो मतलूब है, मकसूद है मोमिन. शहादत तो हमारा विरसा है, तो हम शहादतों से घबराने वाली कौम नहीं हैं. लेकिन ये है कि हमें अपने आइमा अलैहिस्सलातु वस्सलाम की तालीमात को दुनिया में आम करना है.
बिल्कुल. That should be our goal, to just spread that knowledge, and it's just unfortunate that we don't do that. We don't do that as much as we should.
So mashallah, this is our second year we are doing this program to tribute our sixth Imam Jafar Sadiq alayhi salatu wasalam, and last year we did that, and we
did
had
some
those
experiments, and this year too I want to do something, but I want to do it with a goal in mind, and that is during the time of our sixth Imam, there were a lot of atheists. And so when you read the account of our Imam, you see the Imam answering the questions of these atheists. And some questions, like you read them and you start laughing because it seems so illogical. But our Imam was a very, very patient teacher. He was, and one, who was it? I think it's Malik ibn Anas, right? Is the name of the founder of the Maliki faith, school of thought. And he says that whenever I saw the Imam, he was either fasting, either just involved with namaz. So fasting or namaz, in the state of namaz. And number 3, he was reading the Quran and teaching.
Subhanallah.
So these were the 3 states. He always found the Imam in 3 states. He's either fasting, he's either involved in namaz, or number 3, he is reading the Quran and teaching people. So this is what the Imam did, was he was always involved with teaching people and bringing that light of Islam into their hearts, awakening them with that light of Islam. So there were like lots and lots of atheists that the Imam had to answer questions for. And there's one story where this atheist comes in, he says, "Oh Mawla, I want to be able to see Allah, to be able to believe in Allah, like I want to see Allah." So the Imam says, "Okay, fine, go and look at the sun." So he says, "Go and stare at the sun." So he goes and he says, "Mawla, I cannot stare at the sun. It hurts my eyes." So then Mawla says that if you cannot bear to see dead, how can you see the Creator?
Subhanallah.
How is it possible to see the Creator?
Subhanallah.
So this was like one of the biggest things during that time, is this question that how do we believe in the unseen, right? How do we believe in Allah that we cannot see with our eyes? And so our Imam had to teach people, he had to train people, he had to train their thought process, like how they can think about things like this, like how do they, in their own mentality, in their own brain, how do they have that awareness of Allah without seeing Allah? So one of the things I want to do with my experiments today is talk about that, like you can see the effect, right? There's cause and effect, right?
Cause and effect.
So we know there are things in this universe, and we know there's like everything has to have a creator with it, right? Everything that you can, like for example, this cup that you see here, it is put together by somebody. It just doesn't happen that it just appears out of nowhere. So there is this cause and effect. And Mawla, there's like this one narration of this person called Abu Shakir. It's very beautiful. If you want to read it, I want to share some of that. The way he explains to this Abu Shakir, who's an atheist, about things that you cannot see, but they are there. So with my experiments today, that's what I want to do, is that gases that you cannot see, but you can tell the effect of. That's one of the things that our Mawla talked about. And it's amazing, like today, when you know so much about these different branches of sciences, our Mawla was talking about them 1400 years ago, when there was like people didn't have any idea of what to even, like think. There was like not even, like there is 4 quadrants of our knowledge, right? Things that we know, things that we know we do not know. This is things that people didn't even know they didn't know. Okay, so there's like nothing there, and our Mawla is talking about these things. So it's just amazing.
A greatest scientist, a greatest educator, and he's our 6th Imam alayhi salatu wassalam. And we should not only take pride in it, but we should actually, हमें उनकी सीरत पर अमल पैरा भी होना चाहिए. हमें भी चाहिए कि हम एक्सेल करें, हम दुनिया को बताएं. We should be the one. इस्लाम जो है, मजहब हक्का जो है, हमारा जो दीन है, हमें दूसरों को जाके सिखाना चाहिए. ये नहीं कि दूसरों के सामने जाके we should be. So we are grateful for personalities like Dr. Shahrban Mohsin, who are, because really, definitely. And I was reading a hadith of Mawla that I will share over here. And I was really, feeling that I've done maybe something right in my life. This is Allah's bounty on me, that I get to sit with such great personalities.
Like who does
because there's a saying of Imam, हमारे 6th Imam की viewers, ये hadith है कि जो मैं आपके साथ यहाँ पे share करूँगी, कि काल अल इमाम सादिक अलैहि सलातो वस्सलाम, कि be the friend of he who may grace you, not one whom you are better than, and make friend with ones who are higher than you, so that you progress. So मतलब जब when we are making friendship, when we are जब हम अपने connections बनाते हैं, तो हमें कि अपने से जो कहते हैं ना कि तालीम में एतबार से, educational लिहाज से जो बेहतर हो, so we can learn something from them. तो अल्हम्दुलिल्लाह हम यहाँ जब बैठते हैं, जब हम आपके साथ गुफ्तगू करते हैं, जब हम ये प्रोग्राम लेकर आते हैं आपके सामने, इसके लिए तैयारी करते हैं, और जितने भी यहाँ पे मेरी गेस्ट आती हैं, I get to learn so much from them. So this is definitely a blessing.
So much from you.
This is definitely a blessing.
And just, like preparing for the program, we learn so much.
We learn so much, yeah, alhamdulillah, yeah. So, but
It's great.
I was thinking of you and all the sisters that are actually working and going out there and sharing this, with the non-Muslims, with the
Yes,
rest of the
yeah,
community, which is
yes.
very important.
Which is very important,
Yeah.
yes. Because I can tell you in the place where I work, I think I'm the only hijabi there.
Hijabi there, yes. So
The only person who wears a hijab, and everyone knows that I'm Muslim.
Muslim.
I think there's other Muslims because it's everywhere. This is like a global company. There's people in Malaysia. There's
Okay.
my company is in Malaysia as well. I know there's lots of Muslims there. So I shouldn't say I'm the only hijabi. I should say I'm the only hijabi in North America.
In North America.
And
Okay.
Canada and Europe.
In
I can
Canada.
say that.
Okay, in Canada and you. That's a big thing,
Yes,
because this is a
yes.
big part of the world. So, and
Yeah.
you're representing
I'm representing,
our,
yes.
Shia and our Muslim faith and our Aima alayhi salatu wasalam teaching. And definitely you're a scientist just like our sixth Imam.
Yes, so he's my inspiration. So whenever, like uh, chemistry, I like to teach people chemistry, and I like to teach people the love for chemistry because it is really the subject of our sixth Imam Jafar Sadiq alayhi salam. So he's the source of my inspiration when I do my chemistry experiments at my work.
Subhanallah. So, can you tell us a little bit?
Let's go with Operation first. There is like a really beautiful story of our sixth Imam and Al-Mansur, who was the king then. And there was this fly, I'm sure people have read about this. There was this fly that was bothering Al-Mansur. He was sitting there on his throne, and this fly, this little creature, right? It's like coming all over his face, and it's like really bothering him. And our sixth Imam was sitting by Al-Mansur. And Al-Mansur turns towards our sixth Imam and he says, "Oh Imam, tell me, why did Allah create this creature, this fly that's bothering me so much?" And our sixth Imam, he is not afraid, like all Imams, they're not afraid of anybody, especially if they're oppressive and they're oppressors. They want to put them in their place, right? So our Imam says, he turns to Al-Mansur and he says, the fly is created so that he can put you in your place. He can show you, like some humility.
Subhanallah. This is amazing.
He can teach a lesson to the oppressor.
A small fly teaching.
A small fly.
And this is how we see. This is how we see. We see in the time of our before our Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam is born, the Amul field, the year he's born in. We see the story of Hazrat Abdul Muttalib and Abraha. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is sending, here Abraha is bringing big army of elephants and, huge army and huge men. And here Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is sending the birds with small stones, tiny pebbles.
That's all it takes.
This is all it takes. And here we see the same thing in Imam Jafar Sadiq alayhi salatu
and he turns around and says,
Mansur,
the fly is there to humiliate you.
Subhanallah, subhanallah.
Like, can you imagine, like this is this ruler who is so oppressive. And he is merciless. And our Imam, like they were not scared of anybody.
Subhanallah.
They would put them in their place like right away. Which is just, so that's one story about oppression and what our Mawla did, like with Al-Mansur. There's another story of this governor who Al-Mansur had appointed. And this governor was sitting at Masjid al-Nabawi and he was cursing Mawla Ali and cursing our other Imams. And the sixth Imam got up, and everybody, the whole gathering, they were lovers of the Ahl Bayt. They were there. They could not bear to hear it, but they didn't want to raise their voice because they were scared of this governor who was very oppressive and merciless. But our sixth Imam got up, and he told people, like what this person is saying is just, like all of these things that he's saying about the Ahl Bayt is really true with Al-Mansur. So just imagine, like they had that much courage. Courage is not just raising the sword. Courage is also speaking out.
Speaking out, exactly. Speaking out. And definitely we have to take all platforms today and speak out against the oppression. And we have to like show our voice, show our faces. We have to be out there. And आजकल हमारे पास सोशल मीडिया है, मीडिया का दौर है. वो कहते हैं ना कि जिहाद जो है, जो struggle and strive. The literal meaning of jihad is to struggle and to strive. और क्योंकि दिस इज़ व्हाट इन द कुरान इज, दिस इज़ व्हाट अल्लाह सुब्हानहू व तआला इज सेइंग, एंड ये भी हमें दुनिया को बताना है कि जिहाद इज़ नॉट जस्ट बिहेडिंग पीपल, एंड ये जो फांसी, दिस इज़ टायरेंट्स, ये टायरेंट्स का काम है, ये कावर्ड्स लोगों का काम है, ये बुज़दिलों का काम है। बहादुरी और शुजाअत का इससे कोई ताल्लुक नहीं है। जब इंसान के पास लॉजिक नहीं रह जाता, जब इंसान के पास अल्फाज नहीं रह जाते, जब इंसान अपने जो गलत काम वो कर रहा है उसको जाहिर है कि एक गलत रास्ते पे वो चल पड़ा है, तो अब उसको जस्टिफाई करने के लिए वो दूसरों को मारता है, वो दूसरों को कत्ल करता है, वो दूसरों का हक मारता है, वो दूसरों का हक गसब करता है। एंड दिस इज व्हाट वी आर सीइंग, एंड वी हैव टू be out there just like our Aima alayhi salatu wasalam, and speak in the face of injustice and oppression and tell them that what is wrong and what is right, just like our Aima alayhi salatu wasalam did. And very beautiful story from our sixth Imam's life.
And our sixth Imam, so his life history itself, it's just amazing when you read about it, that he had, he learned from actually the fourth Imam. He was I think he was 15 years old when the fourth Imam was martyred. So he learned from the fourth Imam and he learned from the fifth Imam.
Subhanallah.
And the fifth Imam, our sixth Imam says that I was 11 years old when my father taught me astronomy and Greek philosophy. You can imagine, 11 years old.
11 years old.
So he is 11 years old and he's learning about astronomy and he's learning about Greek philosophy. And then they knew so many languages. They knew Greek and they knew Latin. They knew, of course, Arabic and Persian. They had
they have the
Yes.
ilm, they are the waris of ilm laduni.
Yes.
वो दरो दीवार के मोहताज नहीं हैं, वो हस्तियां हैं, वो नूरानी हस्तियां हैं। जाहिर है कि हमारे आइमा अलैहिस्सलाम की, and again the book that comes to our mind, the Superman in Islam, is our sixth Imam अलैहिस्सलाम, and it's been written by these German and European scientists, सबने मिलकर they did a whole research on the life of our sixth इमाम अलैहिस्सलाम, एंड जाहिर है कि उसमें उनके जो बचपन के हालात भी जब लिखे हैं, देर जाहिर है कि हम तो शिया हैं और जाहिर है कि हम मानते हैं कि वो आइमा हैं, देर मासूम, देर बोर्न इमाम, और अल्लाह सुब्हाना ताला की तरफ से दे हैव बीन गिवन दिस डिवाइन नॉलेज, इल्म लदुनी के वारिस हैं। लेकिन जब दुनिया भी आती है और जाके रिसर्च करती है और तहकीक करती है, तो वाक़यातन दे आर अमेज्ड by the knowledge, by the the personality and their contributions and their wisdom of our Aima alayhi salatu wasalam, and especially when we see during the time of our fifth Imam, बाकिर उलूम के, जिन्होंने उलूम को शिगाफ्ता किया, जिन्होंने उलूम को खोल कर सामने लाने वाले, और इमाम जाफर सादिक अलैहिस्सलातु वस्सलाम के जो दरिया है, एक नहर है इल्म का, समंदर है।
This is amazing. So you read about our sixth Imam and how the theory at that time was that everything rotates around the earth. And so he was the first one who said, no, that's not true. And he gave reasons behind why it cannot be true. And he disputed that theory. And then the other thing he also talks about is how the earth rotates, like how it rotates on its own axis, which was just, people had no idea about that kind of thought process in those days. And then the other thing that he also talked about is how the stars are in their place. He gives an example of, you put a stone in a sling and you rotate it like that, right? And until you keep rotating it, until you keep moving the sling in this direction, right, the stone is going to stay in place. As soon as you stop, it's going to fall. And so our Mawla is explaining to his students that the reason why the stars are in their place is because they are also doing this motion.
Subhanallah, Subhanallah. So they're always rotating the stars.
Yes.
And he's telling this,
like
Subhanallah.
Like when there's no theories
no
about
theories
this at
out
all.
there, and later on कितने सदियां गुजरने के बाद दुनिया जो है वो तहकीक करके, इतनी रिसर्च करके कि हमने ये डिस्कवर कर लिया और हमने ये डिस्कवर कर लिया, टेलीस्कोप डिस्कवर हुई, फिर उसके बाद जाके उन्होंने गैलीलियो डिस्कवर ऑल दिस थिंग। तो लेकिन हम देखें कि हमारे इमाम किस वक्त और कहाँ, this is what amazes me the most, because this is all happening in Madinatul Nabawi, in Masjidul Nabawi में बैठकर मौला जो है,
and Masjid Kufa as well.
And Masjid Kufa as
because
well.
Al-Mansur, when he came into power, he was so envious of the Imam, he was so jealous of him, that he said, okay, you want to teach, go to Kufa and teach. which was the biggest mistake he made because Kufa was the place of our first
First
Imam.
Imam, so
And so our sixth Imam went there and he just awakened the people there. He just
Subhanallah.
started, like these universities, and they would be like 4,000 students teaching, learning from him.
From our sixth Imam,
Different,
alayhi salatu.
different subjects.
And same thing we see in our fifth Imam, alayhi salam's life. Yeah, Subhanallah.
Yeah. So the university actually was started by the fifth Imam
Yes.
in Medina, and then the sixth Imam then he propagated that knowledge and he made it big, like really big universities then. And it's just unfortunate that after the sixth Imam, like how much oppression our seventh Imam had to face, and that they had to put a lid on that knowledge, like that knowledge was lost then for centuries because nobody even knew what the sixth Imam taught and left behind him. It was all lost through the ages.
And this is such a, I mean, we see कि कौन से वो लोग थे, जाहिल लोग थे, obviously, कि they hated knowledge so much.
Yeah.
मतलब होता है ना कि इंसान के you're learning so much, you get amazed, और इससे पता चलता है कि जो जाहिल है उसको इल्म से नफरत है, उसको अमन से नफरत है, उसको सुकून से नफरत है, उसको किसी भी इस तरह की हर चीज़ से उसको नफरत है. उन्होंने अपनी जहालत का हर तरह से इजहार किया. जाहिर है कि एक आलिम को, आइमा को जब पॉइजन कर दिया, आइमा को जब उन्होंने वहाँ पे इस तरह से ओप्रेस किया, they were the haters of the knowledge actually.
They were haters of knowledge for the reason that, especially in the Jafari school of thought, we are encouraged to ask questions. And those rulers, they didn't want anybody asking them questions. They didn't want to be questioned by anybody as to, like why they are doing what they are doing. And so they didn't want people's brains to be active. They wanted them to just be involved in their own, like little tiny affairs and not really ask questions, like what's happening and why they are doing. So in the case of Al-Mansur, actually, he was the one who started his own schools, and where they were teaching people predetermination, like that everything that happens, it's by design, and you just have to accept your fate and not really do anything. Any oppression that's happening to you is actually coming from Allah Himself. This is the kind of thoughts that they wanted to propagate in the minds of people, that anything that happens to you, like any oppression that happens to you, you just have to, it's coming from Allah, you just have to accept it and just stay quiet. This is what he wanted to teach. And of course, that's not what we teach in the Jafri school of thought. We teach people to stand up to oppression, to think for themselves, and to question things, and to whatever we believe, it's like logical belief, it's scientific belief. It's after having these logical thoughts in your mind that you accept the faith. And when you accept the faith, there is no going back after that. It's just moving forward.
सुभान अल्लाह. वही कहते हैं कि फरिश्ते से बेहतर है इंसान बनना, मगर इसमें लगती है मेहनत ज़्यादा. So this is what our school of thought is: knowledge, knowledge, and knowledge. Gain knowledge, propagate knowledge, ask question, learn, and be with the in the company of learned. कि वही हमारे सिक्स्थ इमाम अलैहिस्सलातु वस्सलाम का जो खूबसूरत हदीस है कि इल्म तलबुल इल्म फरीज़तु कुल्लुल मोमिनीन, मतलब ज़ाहिर मुस्लिमीन के ऊपर, हर मुसलमान के ऊपर, हर मर्द औरत के ऊपर फ़र्ज़ है इल्म का हासिल करना. तो हाँ, दिस इज़ एक्चुअली वेरी गुड फॉर आवर यंगर जनरेशन. जब हम उनको मैसेज देते हैं कि दे नीड टू बी इन दिस फील्ड, दे नीड टू बिकम साइंटिस्ट, दे नीड टू be the one doing all the research in today's world. Yeah.
They need to be the masters of physics and chemistry and the sciences and the law, right? There's like so many branches. I just know about science.
Yeah.
There's so many different things that they can do and shine in the world and bring the name of the Alibad, just make it shine like the stars.
Subhanallah.
Yeah, so that's something that we can do. So, and let's see, how much time do we have? 11:30?
Yeah, we have till, yeah.
Okay, so what I want to do is share with you this this one discussion that our sixth Imam had with a person called Abu Shakir. So he was an atheist, and he asked a question, and which is, like, how is it that you believe in something that is unseen, and a God that you don't see. And he actually he told our sixth Imam that the reason why you religious people talk about Allah who's unseen is because you want to be in power. You want to gather these riches and you want to become powerful, so people look up to you, and that's the reason why you teach about Allah who cannot even be seen. And so this is if you go to alislam.org and you look up this book, it's a book that was published, and it's about the scientific contribution of our Imam. And I'll tell you what it is after we go through this discussion, because I don't want to zoom through. So so first our Maula answers him and he says, you are telling me that the reason why I'm talking about Allah who cannot be seen, that I want to gather riches. He says, if I want to gather riches, do you know how much knowledge I have of the sciences? I know things that if I make them today and sell it, I am going to make so much profit. Okay? He talks about precious stones. He talks about diamonds. He says, do you know what a diamond is? Do you know how diamonds are cut? And this Abu Shakir has no idea about anything. And Amala says, I have knowledge of precious stones. I have knowledge of things like diamonds. I know how to make things. Do you know that stones can be melted? And this person doesn't have any knowledge. And he says, if I can make use of that knowledge today, I can make so many riches that the whole world is going to be amazed. But that's not my purpose of life. I am not here to gather riches. And then he starts talking to Abu Shakir about Allah. One of the things that Abu Shakir says is that how do I believe in something that is unseen, right? And Maula goes through the discussion first. He is listening to what Abu Shakir has to say. He has like a really lengthy thing that he is discussing with Maula, like why should we believe in an Allah that cannot be seen and nobody can see or feel or touch? How do we believe in that Allah? And so our sixth Imam first, he listens to what Abu Shakir has to say, which is a really lengthy discussion. And then after he finishes, he says, are you done with what you're saying? And Abu Shakir says, yes, I'm done, Maula. I'm done with what I'm saying. He says, okay, now listen to me. And so then our Maula starts saying, he starts saying, do you hear the sound of movement of blood in your body? And Abu Shakir says, no, I don't. Does blood move in the body? Because at that time, people didn't even know that blood actually circulates through the body. He says, does blood actually circulate in the body? And our Maula says, yes, it does. It makes a full circuit of the body. The circulation of blood stops for a few minutes. If it stops for a few minutes, you're going to die. And then our Maula says, it is your ignorance that you do not know about blood circulation. And do you know that they are tiny beings which Allah has created in your body? Now, this thing is so amazing that it is the most current research that people have realized that they are microorganisms in our body. These are like bacteria in our body. They are good bacteria and bad bacteria. And I think we did once, remember the talk we did once about
the food we eat
and how we have to help the good bacteria in our
body
to become more powerful than the bad bacteria. So people actually are doing research now. They are linking the bacteria in our body to what's going on in our brain.
Subhanallah.
So if you want to have good mental health, you need to make sure there's good bacteria growing
in your stomach,
this is like the most current research that people didn't even know about. And our sixth Imam is telling Abu Shakir about these things that he cannot see, that are living in his body, that are tiny beings. And he continues and says, it is because of these small creatures and their wonderful work that you are kept alive. They are so small that you cannot see them. Since you are a slave of your senses, you do not know about their existence. If you increase your knowledge and decrease your ignorance, you will come to know that these small beings in your body are as large in numbers as the particles of sand in the desert. Even this, there are millions and millions of these bacteria. They are actually thousands of times more in number than the cells in our body. You know, like if we account for all the cells in our body, all the cells in our skin, and you know, the bones, the blood, everything that is in our body, and we take into account the number of microorganisms that live in our body, they are thousands and thousands times more than the cells in our body. And our Maula is telling Abu Shakir about things that he cannot see that are in the body, and if they are not there, then you're going to die. So these small creatures are born in your body, multiply in your body, work in your body, and die in your body. But you never see them, you never touch them, you never taste them, and you never hear them in your lifetime. And then he goes on and he says, do you see that big stone lying there? And Abu Shakir is looking at the big rock. And our Mawla says, do you know there's motion in the rock? Which again is amazing, because people had no idea that everything is made up, of course, of atoms, and atoms have electrons. And those electrons are always moving, you know, like things that you might think is inanimate actually is alive. Everything is alive because there's motion going on that we cannot see that motion, but it's there. And Amala is telling him, do you see that big rock? There is motion in that. And then he says, this is again really amazing. This is again really, really amazing. He says that, do you see the grass that's growing? The grass is green because it has moisture, and it has, let's see, it has moisture, it has the sun falling on it. And then he says there is one more thing that it needs, which if you do not give it, it's not going to live, and that is air. Which is again really amazing, because people had no idea that you need, you know, that oxygen in the air to breathe. And our Mawla is talking about that oxygen. He says that you need air, because if you put 10 kinds of herbs in a closed jar which has water but no air, would they germinate? Would they grow? He says it is possible to grow grass, herbs, and fruits in hot houses when it is very cold, provided there is sufficient air. Without the presence of air, no grass will grow in the fields and get green. And he says, Abu Shakir, do you see the air on which your very existence depends? You only feel it when it moves. Can you refuse to believe in the existence of air? Can you deny that to grow and get green, the grass needs many things like seeds, soil, water, air, a suitable climate, and above all, a strong managing power which may coordinate the action of these different elements. And manage and coordinate power, that managing and coordinating power is Allah. You say that everything comes by itself because you're not a scientist. Okay, so our Mawla is saying, I'm a scientist, and if you look at history itself, the very important, prominent scientists all believe in Allah. And they might say anything they want, you know, that there's some that are atheists, but deep within their heart, they have that awareness that there is a creator for the things that they see are created. So he says, you say that everything comes by itself because you're not a scientist. No scientist will ever say that. All scientists and all scholars believe in the existence of a creator. They may call him by different names, but they believe in him. Even those who do not believe in Allah believe in a creative force. So this is a discussion. Just imagine, this can be, you know, this century's discussion
this is a whole theory. I mean, you can write a thesis on this and do a PhD and write. There's so much can you, I mean, do from there.
And the things that he's saying that people did not even know about for 1400 years, that people they just know about it today.
और आज हम जब सुनते हैं कि ये अब साइंटिफिक चीज़ निकल आई है, या ये साइंटिफिक रिसर्च हुई है, फलां यूनिवर्सिटी में फलां प्रोफेसर्स ने ये थ्योरी पेश की है, तो हम समझते हैं वी गेट सो अमेज्ड. But look at all the knowledge is already, you know, our Aima alayhi salatu wasalam sharing in their lifetime. And
so and then he talks about the stones that people use to make idols. And he says, do you know that the stone that you have used to make it was in a liquid condition before. Okay, so, and Abu Shakir is like, why are you saying that the stone was like water? And Mawla is saying, I didn't say water, I said liquid. So it's just
Subhanallah.
amazing, you know, like
It's
what
not water,
he's
it's
trying to tell
liquid is
this
different.
person
Yeah.
who's so very ignorant. And Abu Shakir, he bursts into a peal of laughter and he says, and our sixth Imam, you know, like the students are getting really angry
Angry now.
at this person because he's laughing at the sixth Imam. And our sixth Imam says, don't be angry at him. He is just asking these questions out of ignorance.
Because he
And
doesn't
it
know
is
better.
my job to tell him, to teach him. And so he says, Abu Shakir, he's laughing and he says, I'm laughing because you say that the stones are made of water. And our sixth Imam says, I did not say that the stones are made of water. What I said was that in the beginning, they were in a liquid state,
Subhanallah.
which is what we know today. Like everything was in a liquid state, like we see those volcano activity, right? Everything is melted and then it becomes a solid. And so our Abu Shakir says, what difference does it make? The liquid and water are the same things. And our Mawla says, there are many liquids that are not water. Milk and vinegar are liquids, but they are not water. Although they have water content in them. In the beginning, the stones were like liquid, like water, and they flowed like water. Gradually, they cooled down and became hard so that you can cut them and make them into idols. The same hard stones will turn into liquid if they are heated. So Abu Shakir says, I'm going to go home and see if I can turn this stone into liquid. And our Mawla says, no, you cannot do that because you cannot burn it to that high temperature that you need. So our Mawla is a scientist, you know, like he's teaching him things that are way ahead of the time, you know, like this guy or people, he's not the only ignorant one there. Abu Shakir probably is a student of our sixth Imam, so he must be very bright. He must be very intelligent, right? But everybody else is like in the shoes of Abu Shakir because people do not know, do not have this knowledge.
They have no idea.
That our Mawla is trying to teach them. So our Mawla says, you cannot liquefy stone in the fireplace. Can you liquefy a piece of iron at home? You need a very high temperature. So he's trying to teach him, and by logic, that even with iron, you need like really, really hot temperatures to heat iron and to make it into liquid, or to make it into a state that you can mold things with. And stone is something that you need even higher temperatures, and you cannot do it. So then he goes on and he talks about a great many things which, you know, like people that read this today, they are just amazed at how our Mawla is talking about all of these things that, you know, like Andalib said, he had ilm laduni, he had things that he knew about, that, you know, that was there, that was given, that's God-given gift of knowledge. And then our Mawla says, you do not feel the presence of air when it is not moving. The air is only a creation of Allah. He is everywhere, but you cannot see him or feel him. Feel his presence by your senses. And then he says that, but your instinct tells you that you cannot live without Allah and without worshiping him. And so he finishes his discussion, and then one of the things that our sixth Imam talked about is about air, that you need air. And one of the things, there was one theory that was there, is that there are four elements on this earth: air, water, fire, and something else. I forget.
Air, water,
Fire and earth or something. And our Mawla says that there are many more elements than these four. And then he says that air itself is made up of different elements.
Subhanallah.
Which was just amazing. People didn't know.
Air is a compound.
That air is made up of so many different things. So we know that air that we breathe today, it is 21% oxygen that we need. And then most of it is nitrogen. And then there's carbon dioxide, there's helium, we know there's different gases that are mixed in with air. And our Mawla also says that if there was only one thing in the air, then we wouldn't be able to breathe it. Which is true by research today, that if we start breathing 100% oxygen at high pressures, then we cannot survive with that. So this is like things that our Mawla is talking about, you know, that people are just amazed when they read this. Like there's so many different discussions on so many different things here. You just have to, I'll tell you what this article is, and then he talks about light, he talks about stars. I'll tell you what this article is.
And there's still, you know, even though there's a periodic table in chemistry and all those elements they have, but they're still, till this day, they're still discovering, the scientists are still making discoveries. Or Abhi, I was recently reading an article and they actually discovered another element. I forgot the name though. I don't, maybe you know about that.
No,
You
yeah, they are coming up with
but they're
different,
still,
yes,
every few months you read some article,
yes.
scientific, and they're talking about these things.
Okay, so this one is Imam Jafar as-Sadiq Contribution to the Sciences. This is the title of the book, and it's a really beautiful. This is actually
This is a
they have
very good
taken-
book, and हम अपने youth को recommend करेंगे कि definitely they should, if they have the interest in going to sciences, they should definitely read this book. This is a very good book.
Yeah, so the book itself, it is a book in Persian, and what is on alislam.org website, you can just go and read this, is extracts from the book. So they have taken just some articles from the book and published it in English, translated in English, so we can all make use of it. But this book is a translation of Maghze Mutafakir Jahan Shia, the famous Persian book which has been published 4 times in Tehran. The Persian book is itself a translation from a French thesis published by the Research Committee of Strasbourg, France, about the contributions made by Imam Jafar as-Sadiq to science, philosophy, literature, and irfan. Kaukab Ali Mirza did the English translation from Persian. So this is the main book itself is in French, which was translated to Persian. And then from Persian, they have taken some extracts from that big book and put it together for us to understand and know what the contributions of the Imam are.
Subhanallah. Subhanallah.
Yeah, but it's just amazing. So I
And
think
it's available online, as you said.
yeah,
on
it's available. You can just
alislam.org, and
you can just Google,
definitely,
and there is a lot more in here about like people in the days of the Imam. They were very attracted towards Christianity, and they wanted to like do what Christians do, which is become monks and give up everything and just sit in the mosque doing namaz and so on, and reading the Quran. And our Maula, with his work and with his teachings, like he would attract so many students towards him. He made sure that people do not get attracted to Christian practices. Christian beliefs itself, we know that we believe in Jesus, we believe in Mary, but Christian practices that was becoming very, very popular in those days, he made sure that people do not get attracted to that, and talked about why we don't do that. He said that everything that we do is what the Prophet did. If the Prophet thought that this was, something of great value, he would himself be a monk. So by his teachings, he got them away. And the other thing he did also was celibacy, where you don't get married. That's something that's very popular in the Christian faith. He kept people away from that as well. And then he kept people away from baptism, like they baptize kids when they are born. He kept people away from those kind of practices.
Subhanallah.
So it is like not just the sciences, but he was everywhere.
Everywhere.
He enlightened people in every aspect of their lives.
Subhanallah. Jazakallah, Dr. Sharbano. A lot of knowledge and a lot
of knowledge. Yeah, you just have to read this, and
we have to
you get amazed. So I think we do a little bit of experiments.
Experiment, yes. And for that part, we will be having a helper with us today.
All right.
And I will be inviting our youth participant for today's program, Sayyid Muhammad Zain Naqvi is going to join us. And
yes,
he's going to join us. Yes, Muhammad Zain Naqvi, please.
Muhammad Zain is so excited. I see him right here. Muhammad Zain, actually, he helps us with the recordings as well.
Yes.
A lot of times when
there's a mic,
Mughis
you
is
can
not
take the
here,
mic, Muhammad Zain, you can take the mic and bring the chair.
It is Muhammad Zain who manages the recordings, and he makes sure that people can see this program,
So,
even when his father is not here.
Yeah. Assalamu alaikum rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Walaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Thank you so much. And how did you find the program so far, listening to Dr. Sharbano about our sixth Imam? Would you like to share with us your feelings, your thoughts?
Yeah, it's very nice so far. I learned some new things.
Some new things?
Yeah, I knew before that Imam Jafar Sadiq was a scientist, but I thought someone else was like the father of chemistry. I didn't know
Okay.
that part.
You didn't know
And
that.
I thought that there was someone else who discovered that it was not the Earth that everything rotated around. There was like in school they teach us someone else.
Someone
So
else is-
it's good to know that. So like I can tell my friends that it's actually Imam Jafar Sadiq that discovered those things.
Subhanallah.
Mashallah,
Yeah,
mashallah, yes.
mashallah. Thank you. And so you will be helping us because we will be going. Viewers, हम थोड़े experiments की तरफ जाएंगे और हम
Yes.
देखेंगे
All this
hands-on
fun, right?
activities. So definitely Mohammezan will be helping us bringing the stuff on the table here.
Okay, so
can you tell us, Dr. Shahrbano, कि कौन से experiments जो हैं आज
Okay,
हम
so
करें?
so what we want to do is we want to talk about the belief in the unseen, right?
Yes.
So our sixth Imam, when he was explaining to Abu Shakir about, like believing in the unseen, he said, "Do you see air? And you can feel the movement of air, but you cannot see air. But you need that. You need that for plants. You need it, like to survive. If there was no air, there would be no life." And so it's that belief in the unseen that we want to focus on. So
Okay.
it's like things that so something that I cannot do is work with like real chemicals because
Okay.
it's a home, right?
Yeah.
And so the best we can do is work with household chemicals.
Household chemicals.
And so, but our goal is to prove, like what our Mullah said is that if you were a scientist, you would believe in Allah.
Subhanallah.
And so that's what I want to show is things that are there by their effect, right? And that's the same thing, like when we talk to people who are atheists, we say we have this about cause and effect. Like if there is something that you see an effect of something, there has to be a cause. Or if you see something, that means there is a creator of that. It just doesn't happen that things are brought into existence with nothing, right?
Exactly.
Something has to bring them into existence. And so that's what our goal is today. So
Inshallah.
let's
So
move all the water
yeah.
and
Okay, so we'll move the stuff and make room for that.
make room. And do you want this?
No, we can just leave that on.
Leave
That's
it?
fine. Yeah.
Okay.
And viewers, हमारा नंबर भी अनाउंस हो चुका हुआ है. आप डेफिनेटली कॉल करके भी प्रोग्राम का हिस्सा बन सकते हैं और शेयर कर सकते हैं. और अगर आप हमें बताना चाहें थोड़ा सा इमाम जाफर सादिक अलैहिस्सलातु वस्सलाम के हवाले से,
while we are setting up,
yes, उनकी कंट्रीब्यूशंस जो हैं, साइंटिफिक कंट्रीब्यूशन, उसके हवाले से अगर आप हमारे से शेयर करना चाहें तो डेफिनेटली वी लुक फॉरवर्ड टू योर कॉल्स. और so we have this foil pan over here. I will try to मतलब explain as much as I can. थोड़ा सा मैं कोशिश करूंगी कि मैं साथ आपके शेयर कर सकूं यहाँ पर.
from upstairs. Kitchen sink. Okay, so let's see. I'm just gonna get set up here.
So I see some colors and some
Where
different
does
things.
chemistry does colors?
ये यहाँ पर हमारे पास हाउस होल्ड, जैसे कि डॉक्टर शाहरबानो ने कहा कि वी हैव हाउस होल्ड आइटम्स, जो घर में हमारी चीज़ें हैं. तो डेफिनेटली हम चाहेंगे कि जो पेरेंट्स हैं या ग्रैंड पेरेंट्स जो देख रहे हैं वो अपने बच्चों के साथ, ग्रैंड किड्स के साथ डेफिनेटली घर में इन एक्सपेरिमेंट्स को कर सकते हैं, बिकॉज दीज आर ऑल डन विद हाउस होल्ड मटीरियल्स एंड नथिंग इज एक्सप्लोसिव हियर. सो and there's baking soda. I see the baking soda. I see the dishwashing liquid and
This is yeast.
this is active dry yeast जो कि हम बेकिंग के लिए चीज़ें यूज़ करते हैं. This is the hydrogen peroxide, the alcohol, rubbing alcohol. And over
Amazon,
here
can
we
you
have
take
the
out the glassware?
calcium chloride.
The glassware.
Okay, so maybe we don't have this at home. Everyone.
No, I'll tell you what this is.
This is okay.
Calcium chloride is what you put when you have to melt the snow on driveways.
Okay,
So this is what you would put. So
Okay.
this is also household. But this is in a pure form. You'll have it mixed up with something else.
Okay, so the salt
This is the
that
pure form of that.
Pure form.
So what
okay.
this does, calcium chloride actually, it generates heat. When you dissolve it, it generates heat, and that heat is what melts the snow on the
Okay.
driveways.
So we can do these experiments by sitting down or?
Yeah.
Okay.
So let me just put this whole box.
Okay, yeah. You can
Put it on my chair, then I can get it.
Okay.
Let's see, I need to roll up my sleeves. Take that
So what is this in the Ziploc bag over here, Dr. Sharma? Is this like a
I just got
shampoo or
some
like a gel?
dishwashing. I was
Dishwashing,
thinking
okay.
Andalib doesn't have any dishwashing liquid, so I had to.
Yes.
But when you are a
My
scientist,
dishes
you
are
have to be prepared with everything.
Prepared
Okay?
with everything, okay.
So I wasn't sure. So Muhammad Zan, you get a. Say, oh, you have glasses, right?
Well, yeah.
Okay.
I
Andalib gets a
Okay.
safety goggle,
All right, so we're wearing.
so you have to put it on.
So we're going to feel like scientists today.
Yeah.
So we're in the lab to honor our sixth Imam, Imam Jafar Sadiq alayhi salatu
And
wasalam.
what I forgot to get was gloves.
Gloves. We have gloves in the kitchen. If
Yeah?
Mohammed, you want to
run?
bring the gloves?
Okay.
Yeah, just bring the
Muhammad
boxes.
Zan is a good helper.
Thank you.
Okay.
So we're going to put this on.
So let's see.
Take the safety precautions. And
Okay. I'll pull that out later.
okay.
Okay.
So how many experiments are we doing, like altogether? Do we have? Do we know?
Let's see. What time is it? We
So
have
we're
some
going to
time.
finish by 12:30,
Yeah,
so we
yeah.
have time.
We'll
yeah.
finish, yeah. Okay. So I will wait for Muhammad Zan to come.
So this is for you.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Can you open this?
Okay.
Thank you. Okay. Guess we can put the matches there. Together.
Yeah, so we have matches, and there's a battery in that one of the Ziploc bag.
Yeah, we are going to do an experiment with that as well. Thank you, Muhammad Zan.
Thank you.
Okay, so we are ready.
Yeah. Hands-on kind of program today.
Yeah. Okay, so the first thing we will do is something that you all have done, I'm sure, which is mix sodium bicarbonate with vinegar. And we know there's going to be a big reaction and there's going to be a gas coming out, right, that you cannot see. But you know it's there. Just
So-
like Allah, you
so-
can't see, but you know He's there.
पहला जो एक्सपेरिमेंट हम कर रहे हैं वो हम बेकिंग सोडा जो कि हाउस होल्ड मटीरियल है जो हम फ्रिज में रखते हैं अपनी पेंट्रीज में रखते हैं बेकिंग सोडा और उसके साथ हम सिरका विनेगर तो both of the things we have at home.
Yes. We'll just put it on top.
We're talking about the unseen.
We're talking about the unseen. Okay, so I'm going to put the vinegar and you'll see a reaction happening.
It's foaming up.
It's foaming up.
All
There's
the
a
bubbles.
gas coming out.
Looks like
Right.
soda.
Looks like soda, yeah.
When you get
And
the soda.
you'll see
like
that.
root beer.
How do I know there's a gas coming out? If I light this. See that?
Oh,
How it blows it out.
So the gas
So
blows the fire
The
out.
gas that is coming out that you cannot see is carbon dioxide.
Okay.
See that? So if I did the same thing, you know, like an empty bottle, right? Like this is still going to burn.
Subhanallah.
But if
So
I
we're
do it
talking about
here,
the unseen.
you see
here,
that?
Yes. See, we don't see it.
You don't see
But
it,
it's
but you
there.
know it's there, and we know it's carbon dioxide because it doesn't help with something that is flammable, you know, something that's fire. You put it out with carbon dioxide. So carbon dioxide is something that will put out a fire if you put it on fire. Yeah? Muhammad Zain, you want to do it?
So is that the what they have in the extinguisher? The
Yes.
You know, the home extinguisher. Okay.
It might still be coming out. So yeah, see,
Oh,
it's
wow,
still
it's still
coming
coming
out.
out.
Even though you know the reaction has stopped, this
Has
thing
stopped,
is full
yeah.
of carbon dioxide. And carbon dioxide actually is it's heavy. It's heavier than air, so it stays
So it's
on the
more
bottom.
denser.
Yeah, it's heavy. So it weighs like 44 grams per mole. You say it
Okay.
in chemistry, right? Muhammad Zain, are you learning chemistry?
No.
Not
I'm
yet.
taking
Not
biology this year, so
Okay. So Muhammad Zain, our helper, is going to go upstairs, throw it out, clean it really fast, and bring it back.
I'm bringing it
Let's see
back,
how
yeah.
fast you can do it.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you. Okay, for the next thing, what we are going to do is we are going to make two solutions.
Okay.
So this is all chemical reactions, right? In this chemical reaction, we are going to make calcium chloride solution and sodium bicarbonate solution. And these are both colorless solutions. They have no color.
Okay.
And when we put them together, there's a reaction that happens, right? And you can see the reaction happening because it makes something like a white precipitate is what we call it.
Okay.
And what happens here is, see how calcium chloride, this chloride exchanges with the carbonate here. So it becomes sodium chloride and calcium carbonate. So it's called a double displacement reaction.
Okay.
They are like exchanging partners, okay? So calcium is becoming calcium carbonate, calcium chloride is becoming calcium carbonate, and the bicarbonate, sodium bicarbonate is becoming sodium chloride.
Sodium chloride. Okay.
So, thank you, Mohammed Zain. Okay, so Mohammed Zain, actually I need some water. Can you get me some water in here?
Okay.
So he is going to get the water, we'll make our solutions in here, and then we'll put them together.
Okay. So, is the quantity matter? Like how much? Just a little bit, or is the spoon, or
Yeah, yeah.
what can we use? Okay.
So Andalip can help, right? She's wearing her
Yes.
gloves.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to.
So just put like a spoonful.
Okay. Spoonful of calcium chloride.
Yes.
It's like a mesh, small, like tiny pebbles, kind of.
Yeah.
So is this much enough?
Yeah, that's it.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you,
We have
Mohammed Zain.
water now.
And then put a little bit of this in here, and Mohammed Zain can make the solutions for us.
Hmm.
Okay, so put water in here. There you go. Maybe like 20 mils. See, this is calibrated. You see the 20 there? Yeah, let's put it to 20. Oh, that's plenty. That's fine.
Mm.
I'm gonna mix it up. There you go.
Okay.
Dissolving.
Yeah, it's dissolving.
This is the calcium chloride, right? That you were doing.
This is, I think this is they both look the same now.
Ah. Okay.
how
So
can
how can you tell?
Yeah.
Feel this one and feel this one.
This
This
is
one?
kind of colder. And this is warm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
So
wow.
this is the calcium chloride.
Oh, so this is the
Because
calcium
when
chloride.
it dissolves in water, it generates heat.
Oh, wow.
Feel it?
Yeah,
I
you can
feel
feel the difference. That's colder, that's warm.
So a lot of chemicals, when they dissolve, they generate heat.
The generator.
And there's
okay.
some that actually become cold.
Hmm.
And that's one of the things that we use when we want to melt ice in the driveway is put calcium chloride that's mixed with something else, and it
Okay.
melts the ice. Okay, so now these two,
So we're going to mix these two together, or what are we
Yeah.
going to do? Okay.
we're going to mix this together.
And one is more clearer,
Yeah.
with the,
This is the
and
calcium
this one
chloride.
is like
I
calcium
think your
chloride.
water is not very pure in your house.
Oh, it's not pure? Oh, we can. So we're
No, I'm
testing
telling
our
you,
water
yeah,
as well.
testing your water too
Okay.
here.
Maybe we need a filter now.
Okay, so Mohammed Zain, just pour both of these in here.
Okay.
This is the one with the calcium chloride.
Mhm.
And this is the one with the baking soda
This
bicarbonate.
is the bicarbonate.
Okay. So the
Just
color
shake
is
it up like
changing.
this. You see that, how it's making it milky white?
Yes.
So that's calcium carbonate. That's a chalk we use when we write on the board.
Oh, wow.
That's a
okay.
chalk.
So this is that's how they make the chalk.
Yeah. So if you keep it here, you see that? You see it's kind of like foaming, right? So there's a reaction happening. See that?
Oh, so it's
It's
also
blowing out. It's
it off.
also
Wow.
carbon dioxide that's getting released.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, you try it. So we are actually making a gas that we cannot see. It's again blowing out a match, so we know it is
It is there.
carbon dioxide.
Another unseen.
Yes.
Okay.
And what we have made in here actually is sodium chloride, which is the salt we use for cooking. Right? That's
Okay.
what we eat, sodium chloride. And we have made calcium carbonate, which is a chalk that you use to write on the board. So it is kind of like whitish. So if I kind of like now, if I filter this, I will have chalk to write on the board.
Oh, wow. So, I mean, how does it get solidified, the chalk? I mean,
No,
it's
it just does
doesn't?
precipitate. So if we
Okay.
just keep it,
Okay.
it's going to settle on the bottom.
All right.
Yeah,
Okay. Then
you'll
you
see
can
like
just
white
strain
stuff.
it and.
Yeah, white stuff settling on the
Yeah,
bottom.
I can see that.
And then there is water that's produced, and then there is carbon dioxide that you cannot see, but it's
It's there, and we
yeah,
can
and
see
you can
as
check
we
if
light
this
the
the
match,
reaction
and
is still going
it's
on.
gonna blow it.
Yeah, see, it blew it out. So there's carbon dioxide in the jar.
This is actually a fun activity to do with the kids. बच्चे जो घर में जैसे छुट्टियां आपको
Teach them about Allah.
Yeah, teach
by
them
doing-
about Allah and by
by
doing
making
this.
them a scientist.
Subhanallah. And we're talking about our Imam, and we're talking about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Science is religion. Science, and exactly
Yes.
like Dr. Sharwan said, that whoever believes, I mean, whoever is, if you are a scientist, you believe in Allah. You
Yes.
believe in the Creator. That nothing is, there's a cause and there's an effect. So you,
Yes.
Subhanallah.
Okay,
This is
so
the beauty of
see
Allah.
right there? Do you see the
Yes.
white stuff on the
No,
bottom?
it's very clear. Yeah, I know. Separating
See
now.
the white stuff? It's settling down.
Chalk.
That's a chalk. Okay, so you can put this in the sink, put it down the sink and wash it and bring it back. Muhammad-san, thank you.
All right. Okay.
So now what we'll do is we have made carbon dioxide that we cannot see, but we saw the effect, right? We are going to make oxygen.
Oxygen. Oh,
And you'll see the flame burning brighter.
okay.
And just like our Maula said that you need oxygen.
To breathe.
To
We
breathe.
finish at 12:30. We finish at 12:30. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. You can tell them. Yeah.
So while he's getting that ready, this is yeast. And you can put this in.
Okay.
And what we are going to be doing is we are going to use this hydrogen peroxide that you find in the stores as well. If you go to like CVS or Walgreens,
Yeah,
they sell
this
this.
is everywhere on the
This
shelf.
is
It's
everywhere,
like-
right? So what the yeast does is it's like a catalyst to break down hydrogen peroxide into oxygen and water. Okay, so it's going to make oxygen, and that oxygen is going to come out like a foam that you see. And then what you can do is hold like a matchstick, and you'll see it burning brighter.
Okay.
Okay, so let's do it here, and then we'll do it in here as well.
All right.
Okay, Mama-san, you want to put like maybe 2 spoonfuls? Two spoonfuls of the yeast in here. That's okay, we'll just clean it. Okay, so we have the yeast now, and what we are going to do is dissolve it in water. And now when I add this, it's going to start breaking this up, hydrogen
Okay.
peroxide it's going to make oxygen, and we are going to see our matchstick. Keep this ready, Mama-san. Okay, so it might make a mess, so I'm going to keep this ready.
Okay.
Chemistry is messy, right?
Chemistry is just like working in the kitchen, you know, cooking. So. Okay. Wow. There's like
Okay, do you see how it's like
it's raising up.
foaming?
It's
Okay, yeah,
foaming.
Mama-san, get ready. Okay, hold it like right here. See how the other ones were like getting,
Wow. So
it
this
was
is
just putting
okay.
it out.
Mhm.
You can throw it, you can throw it in.
You can throw it in there.
So see how it's,
It's
because
like
it's oxygen,
forming up. It's like a
it,
volcano
yeah,
going on. Yeah.
yes.
Do it again, yeah.
So it actually helps with the flame.
So this
It's
is
going to burn
oxygen.
brighter. Yeah, we have all this foam forming now.
Yeah. Becoming brighter and brighter.
So it loves, you know, like if there's a flame and there's oxygen, then you're going to have the flame burn brighter. And you can show that to the kids, you know, like have in the jar, when you pour it in, you can expose, you know, like something like a burning match that I actually wanted to get the longer ones. You can put it in and you can see how the flame just,
The flame goes, yeah.
yeah. Okay, so we'll do something fun with this. We are going to make elephant toothpaste.
Okay, yeah. That was my favorite
Elephants,
experiment from
yeah.
last year.
Elephants also need toothpaste,
Elephant
right?
needs toothpaste, okay.
Because they have to brush their tusks, yes.
Uh,
So put the same thing, put like 2 spoonfuls in here. This. Ah, yeah, we need the funnel right here. And one more. So this is something fun you can do with the kids. They love, you know, things that foam and froth and so on. Okay. So let's see, let's put
so
some
again,
water.
हमने उसमें dry yeast डाला है, dry active yeast, and now adding water
Can
to
we do
it.
some more water?
We have water here.
Oh yeah, yeah, that's right.
We'll use this water.
We have water. Okay, so you put some water. And you see like how it's like even now without any putting any dishwashing soap in there, how it's like still frothing
It's
and
so, yeah, frothy
yeah.
and foamy.
You can help that more, you know, like you can get more of those bubbles if you add a little bit of soap.
Okay.
Because each of these bubbles that you see, it is filled with oxygen.
So that's why they're foaming up. when
Yeah,
you're
so
washing
each of these
dishes
bubbles that you see, it's full of oxygen. It's oxygen trapped in the bubbles. So we'll just help it by putting some dish soap. And then you can add some color if you want to make it, you know, like,
So these are again food colors?
yeah.
Okay. So viewers, वही सब चीज़ें जो हमारे पास घर में मौजूद होती हैं ऑलरेडी, उसी के साथ हम ये सारे एक्सपेरिमेंट्स जो हैं कर रहे हैं.
Yeah.
It's nice.
Stir it up. Now we add the peroxide.
Okay, so far we have इसमें yeast है, water है, food color है, detergent है, dishwashing detergent, और अब उसमें हम ये डाल रहे हैं rubbing alcohol.
No, hydrogen peroxide.
Hydrogen peroxide, okay. And it's foaming up and
It's foaming up
again
and
it's
it's going to
coming,
come
the bubbles
out,
are
all
forming.
those bubbles.
Nice.
And we put the dishwashing soap in there, so that's going to be...
And yeah, it looks like the toothpaste.
Yeah.
Elephant's toothpaste is very nice.
Yeah.
I don't know if
It's going
the
to
camera
keep doing
can show
that.
this right here.
So that's elephant's toothpaste.
So I mean, can we still check if there's
Yeah.
with the
let's see.
match? Okay, I want to try. See, the flame is getting bigger and brighter, and
Yeah.
and it looks like it's melting too. The flame.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah?
It's like trapped oxygen in each of those
Wow.
bubbles is trapped oxygens. So things that you cannot see, but you can see the effect,
Effect, yeah.
right? So yeah, see, there's still stuff
It's
coming
still-
out.
yeah,
It's
stuff
collecting
coming
in the
out.
tray.
Yeah. You can see in the trays.
Yeah, I lift it.
Yeah, the camera can.
You can show what's happening in the trays.
So we have two different kind of liquids going on in the tray.
Yeah,
It's
and the
still
bubbles are
forming
so
up, the
many
bubbles
that
are
even though
forming
I
up.
added color, I had to add more color to, so you can see the color. It's like slightly colored now, but there's so much foam coming out. You can see it happening because
Now
it's
because of
kind
the
of like,
color.
yeah, because of the color, you see it toppling over. It's still reacting. Okay, so let's see, we have some time, right? Okay, so what I want to show now is something with flames, right?
Okay.
So where there's chemistry, there's going to be fire.
Fire.
But we want to be safe.
Yeah.
Anjali was getting nervous here.
No, I'm
She's
not.
like, what is Sherbano going to do here?
So this is
Okay.
very exciting, actually.
So let's use this plate because then people
Okay.
can see actually.
All right.
And let's close this.
So we have these two experiments over here going
Yeah, see,
on,
this
and
thing
now
is
we
still
have
going. And even
It's
this
still-
foam,
yeah,
see
still
this
going,
foam?
yeah.
Because I added more.
so color, and we can see that it's still bubbling out, still coming out, and the pan is actually almost like the bottom is full,
Yeah.
filled up. Okay.
Look.
So
Okay. So, so no matches. Okay, we are going to
Okay.
use another source of making a fire. Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Have you seen this?
No.
Okay. So what I have here is a wire mesh. It's very, very fine.
is it the wool that you
Yeah.
clean the dishes with?
Yes.
Okay.
It's even finer than that.
Finer than
But you
okay.
can use the wool of the dishes as well. You just have to be really, really careful. So maybe I should take a smaller portion.
जो
of this.
बर्तन धोने वाली जैसे वो जाली की तरह मैश जो
हाँ.
उसकी तरह की ये है.
Right. So I'm putting that. And what I'm going to do is use the battery to light it.
So is that like any battery or what kind
No,
of
this
battery?
is like, let's see, 9-volt battery.
Okay.
And see, these are leads to, for if you want to
Connecting.
connect it to something.
Okay.
But this is also unseen, right? You don't know what's in here. It's electricity. Can anybody see electricity? We can only see the effect of electricity when it goes
Exactly.
through, you know, like a light bulb, it lights it up. So there's electricity in here, and when I say it, you just have to believe that it is there.
Yeah.
And I'm going to show you the effect of it. You can't see it, but you'll see the effect of it. So if I put it now,
Oh wow.
you see that?
Yes.
It's lighting it up.
If we can show it, that was when you first put it.
I think my battery is dead. I have another one though.
Okay.
See, I come prepared. Let's see, where is it?
Okay.
I think it's in the
Like does shaking the battery makes it
No,
work better
no.
or no?
because I was playing with it a lot yesterday.
Okay.
I was showing my kids how it works.
Oh. Oh wow, this is so cool. Look at it.
Hang on.
Oh,
Oh,
wow.
I did it. Okay,
yeah,
okay,
I did it.
okay,
See?
good, good.
Oh wow.
Do it again.
Do it again, yeah. It's in the
Okay.
car.
Oh.
No, I did shake it. See,
We will
shaking
send-
makes it work better.
Mama Zan will go to my car.
Okay.
Mama Zan, there's like a bag you'll see by the passenger seat, on the passenger seat.
Just wait a little bit more.
And there is a battery in there.
Okay.
There's like a small pouch on the passenger seat.
Okay, so but it's
So,
a
yeah.
very nice. It's like fireworks,
I
going
know,
on over
but
here.
let's wait till
Little
we
fire.
get the new battery.
So this is I think same idea. They make the fireworks with powders and chemicals together.
Yeah, so if you have you go on camping trip or something and there's like no other way to light a fire, you can take
Okay.
some of this glass bowl. I mean, it's not glass wool actually. It is metal wool. You can take this with you,
Okay.
and then you can just light the fire using this, because even if this is wet, it's still going to make it light.
And you can see it's been burned.
Yeah.
Over here. Yeah, you can. It's changing.
Yeah. Okay. So So while Mama Zen is getting that,
Okay.
we will do one more experiment.
Okay.
And this one actually, you know, like how all experiments, there's like an end point, right? It goes in one direction.
Okay.
So you start with your reactants, you put them together, you make your products, and that's the end of it, right? Even this has come to a standstill. But the reaction that I want to show now is called oscillating reaction, where it just goes from reactants to products back and forth until it comes to an end. Thank you. Can you open that?
Yes.
Okay. So let's do that.
So we have a new piece.
Yeah.
वो
It's a new
मेटल
piece.
की जो जाली जिससे बर्तन वॉश करते हैं.
I've got a lot more, but I'm afraid to do it in Unbeliev's basement because the sparks do fly everywhere. Okay, Mama.
Okay, wanna put
Yeah.
that?
There you
So if we
go.
can put the cap. Wow, this is
You
so
see that?
pretty. Maybe we can do the whole piece.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, not the
Oh,
whole.
I
Let's
like
do one
it.
more.
Okay. This is
Yeah,
very
it's so
nice.
pretty, right?
Yeah, it looks like
so
fireworks.
you just see the effect. And what you see is our creator who has created something that's very beautiful,
It's
right? You
still
see
going
that?
on. See the.
Yeah.
It's very nice. I don't know हमारे viewers को अगर नजर आ रहा है कैमरे में कि किस तरह से वहाँ sparks बन रहे हैं.
No, that is done.
That is done.
burnt. Yeah.
Nice.
We can light a fire.
Okay.
Okay. So make sure though that you don't have this.
And now
this
we
in
can
the
smell
pocket.
now we can smell something's been burned.
Yeah.
So जलने की उसमें खुशबू भी आ रही है या बदबू भी आ रही
No,
है.
so I just want to tell you for the safety thing.
Okay, the safety thing. Okay.
Make sure you don't store it in the same place.
In the same,
because
yes.
It's just going to cause a fire.
So अगर आप कैंपिंग के लिए ये लेके जाना
Don't
चाहें
put it in the pocket
तो
with
बस-
the wool.
सेपरेट जिपलॉक जैसे डॉक्टर शहरबानो ने सेपरेट
Yes.
जिपलॉक बैग्स में
And then
डाला
I cap it so it just.
and
it
there's a
just keeps
cover
it
for the
safe.
battery too. That's
Yeah.
good. So these both have been burned and we can see this. Yeah.
Yeah, it's oxidized. It wouldn't have happened if there was no oxygen in the air.
Wow. So this small things, and we can see Allah's beauty in all these small things, you know.
Yes.
So much is going on.
Yeah. Okay, Muhammad Zain, can you wash this? We need this guy.
Okay.
Actually, just take it like this, and I'll clean it when I come upstairs.
Okay.
And then just wash this one and bring it back.
Just this one?
Okay. So which one are we doing now? What is our
Okay,
next
so what we are
experiment?
going to do is, until now we have like one-way reactions, right? So anything that has happened, this is burnt now. We can make it go back to its formal state, right? So reactions, a lot of reactions just happen like one way. You make your products and you're done. So what we are going to do now, it's going to be an oscillating reaction. It's going to go from the products are going to make reactants again. And the reactants are going to make products again. So it all oscillates. And then finally it does come to an end, but in the beginning it's nice to see it getting, you know, like the oscillating reaction.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what are we using for that?
For that we are going to be using, it's called starch, malonic acid, manganese sulfate, potassium iodate, and
so obviously these are not the household chemicals.
So this is not household
Yeah,
chemicals.
so this is where Dr. Sharvano comes in handy because she has access to these chemicals because she's a scientist.
Thank you. Okay, do we have more gloves? One more?
Okay, Mom, then can you bring more
Oh, yeah.
gloves? Yeah, bring the box. Yeah. I can put them. Yeah.
Because I do need to wear gloves to handle those. So we can put the rest away.
Okay. So the active dry yeast.
Yeah. Do you use it?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. again we're going to mix in the same beaker here.
Yes.
Okay.
So let's see, this is clean, right? Or it's not. Oh, we use this, right? I think this is clean. Maybe. I'll just clean it. I'm missing my aluminum tray now.
Oh.
No, it's okay. Don't go. Oh, Mohammed Zain, I keep sending him up. Up and down. Okay, so we are going to mix three things together.
Three
Our
things,
hydrogen
okay.
peroxide, remember we used it to make oxygen. We are going to pour that in.
So hydrogen.
Okay, you want to cap this one?
Okay.
Hydrogen peroxide. And then
Then we have
potassium iodide.
potassium iodide. Okay. So we're mixing three chemicals in here, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just pour it in a little bit.
Okay.
And then we have the last one, which is this thing. So this is going to produce iodine, and iodine, when it reacts with starch, it makes a blue color.
Oh yeah.
It's a test for starch.
We learned about that in school.
But
Oh, you
the
did?
reaction
Okay.
goes back and forth, and it releases the iodine, so you see like an amber color, and you see colorless. So I put all three
Oh,
together.
wow.
You can see how,
Now it's changing the color.
do you see the color change?
Yes.
Okay, so you have to watch carefully.
Mm.
So you'll see it going back and forth between amber,
Oh wow.
see right
yeah.
there,
See.
and white.
Yeah.
See that?
Yeah.
So it's an oscillating reaction. It just goes back
Okay.
and forth, back and forth.
Back and forth. I want to do that too. Oh wow. Yeah, it's changing color now. So it's doing by
Yeah, the
itself, huh?
tablecloth is the same color, so
Same
it may
color,
be
yeah.
hard to see, but
Maybe you can see over here, like this.
do you see that? So it's amber
Yeah.
and white.
And white. Okay. Yeah. See, it's amber because it's on the
Yeah, and the white.
paper.
So you
so
see it better. That's why I
you
put
see
it on
it.
the white.
This is nice.
Yeah.
So it's like changing colors, you know, those lights
It's like
that
an
we have.
oscillating reaction, so it goes back and forth, back and forth. It's not like one direction.
Yeah.
But finally, it's so fast that you can't really see with your eye, and then it just stops.
And it's like they're forming little bubbles inside. Right?
Yeah. So it is reacting.
Okay. So I mean, there's
And what I don't have is like a stirrer, so if you can put this like on a magnetic stirrer, it just stirs everything.
okay.
And yeah, so you can keep watching it. It goes back and forth, and then the end is like, it becomes like a really dark solution. So that's an oscillating reaction.
Oscillating reaction. Okay.
It oscillates back and forth.
Okay. I think हमारे program का वक्त भी बस अब थोड़ा-
Yeah.
How much time do we have?
10. So we can finish it up
10
while
minutes.
we are
Yeah, we
watching
have
this.
10 minutes. Yeah.
While we are watching this, Andalip, you can talk, because I know you read some duas right towards the end.
Abhi we have 10 minutes, so yeah, we have
Okay.
time. Yeah. So is there like another?
No, I think this was the last one.
Was the last one. Oh wow.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. And yeah, I see the color is
Yeah,
getting
see the
darker and darker
colors.
now.
Yeah.
Still changing, and it's like very nice, like a golden color.
Yeah, nice
And,
golden
very
color,
golden.
right? It's very pretty.
Very nice. So, mashallah, jazakallah, Dr. Sharwano, for sharing with us itni knowledge or itne experiments, and these are like fun activities.
Chemistry is fun.
Chemistry
Remember
is a
that.
lot
Chemistry
of fun.
is
Yes.
fun.
So maybe when we are just learning in the school, it's hard, but
Yeah.
No, learning in the school also is fun.
it's also fun.
Right,
yeah.
Mama Zed?
No.
Yes.
The lab part is fun. Yeah, I really enjoyed going to the labs and so
Yeah, see how it's
Alhamdulillah.
getting darker
Yes,
and
now every time
darker.
it changes color, it's becoming darker and darker.
Yeah.
Subhanallah.
It's moving towards the completion of the
This
reaction.
Is dead?
Yeah,
no,
I
I think
it's.
still it will still work, but
I
after
don't know.
a
Maybe
while.
we're not touching it properly. You want to try?
Yeah, maybe we can
How
see
much
it
life
again.
is in
Yeah,
there?
yeah.
Yeah,
no,
I think
still
it's
has
alive.
life. It's alive. Yeah. Mm. Very nice.
That's
So
the
over
effect of
here, the
electricity.
camera is right now over here,
Oh,
so
yeah,
maybe
sorry.
you can show. It's
The
still
effect of electricity.
Mhm.
So you don't see electricity, but you see the effect of electricity.
Perfect. So there are so many things that we
That you
cannot
cannot
see, but we know that they are there and they are doing their job, what they have been assigned to do by their creator, by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And
So
these
this
were the
is
things.
yuminuna bil ghaib. So that's our
Yuminuna
first
bil ghaib,
thing that
हमारा
we're
जो
supposed to do is
ईमान
believe in
का
the unseen.
Subhanallah.
Right? Surah Al-Baqarah starts
Subhanallah, yes. Exactly.
yuminuna bil ghaib.
Yuminuna bil ghaib. Yes.
Bil ghaib.
Ghaib
So,
पर ईमान. This now?
It looks like
Make
Coke
it-
now.
yeah. Yeah, so it's moved to
Wow.
completion now.
It's like totally
drink
changed the
it now?
color now.
Hmm?
Can we drink it?
No, don't. It looks really
Yeah, I know it looks like
appetizing,
soda.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks
Looks
like
very
soda,
good.
but those sodas are bad to see. This is what we
Yeah.
can see from, and okay, it's like normal now. Nothing in there. So this is how they make actually soda, and then वो उसमें कुछ चीजें डाल देते हैं chemical. The sodas are so harmful. But
Yeah,
this is
they
not
look
a
like
so-
that.
I know they look like that. This is how they get their color, and it's kind of like reddish now. I see on the top, it's
Yeah.
like turning reddish and brownish and
Okay, we'll just
Changing
pour it
color.
in here and now discard it
okay.
because this is something you cannot put in the sink.
Oh, I see. Okay,
Yeah.
so you
And
need
I'm
more
good at
gloves.
taking out my gloves all the time.
Okay.
I'll just put this. What Muhammad Zain took off.
There's more here.
No. I think I just need one.
This one.
Yeah.
Okay. तो
Yeah,
जब हम
there's-
अपने इमाम की बात करते हैं, उनकी सीरत ज़िंदगी पर बात करते हैं, उनकी लाइफ टाइम की बात करते
Can you throw
तो
this one?
वी सी ही इज़ द फादर ऑफ
Throw it in the
ऑल
sink.
दीज साइंसेस. जैसे अभी हमने मोहम्मद जैन से भी सुना कि अब वो जाके अपने दोस्तों के साथ स्कूल में भी शेयर करेगा कि ही लर्न दिस दैट आवर सिक्स्थ इमाम अलैहिस्सलातु वस्सलाम इज़ द वन हु आई मीन contributed towards so much and taught
Yeah, he
people.
contributed so much. He talked about things that people didn't really understand at that time because people were ignorant. They had no knowledge of these things.
Mhm.
And our Imam was talking to them about things that people were
Going on. अभी भी इंसान ने कितनी तरक्की कर ली है. We have done
right.
so much and so दुनिया को बताने कि this is what Islam is actually.
Yes.
Islam is a very progressive, very intellectual religion, and ज़ाहिर है कि we have so much knowledge and so much we can contribute in our communities. And again हमारे बच्चे जो हैं वो इन sciences में ज़रूर जाएं. I always encourage kids, that they obviously we need to be in all aspects, in all departments of life. लेकिन ये है कि साइंसेस की तरफ भी जाएं और इसमें ज़रूर से क्या कहते हैं हिस्सा लें. तो how did you like Mohammed Zain doing the experiments?
Which one was the best one?
Which one did you like the most? And
I think the best one was with the one where we put in the tray, the aluminum tray, and when you put the match over it, made it get brighter. and
brighter, so the
bigger.
oxygen reaction, yeah, was making okay.
Yeah.
So on that one. So
How about the battery?
Yeah, that was my second favorite one.
second favorite one? Okay.
I thought I didn't know it was gonna be that simple that you just have to touch
Yeah.
the
Just
battery.
you don't
So-
have to do anything.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
the thing is, it needs to be the fine mesh because This is another piece of metal. If I put the battery on this metal, it's going to drain the battery. It's going to draw so much current.
क्या होगा तो डेफिनेटली आप कॉल तो नहीं किसी ने की, लेकिन ये है कि आप बाद में हमें कॉल करके मैसेज करके डेफिनेटली शेयर कर सकते हैं। और अगर आप इन एक्सपेरिमेंट्स को करें घर में तो हमें ज़रूर बताएं कि मतलब अगर आप बच्चों के साथ करते हैं तो, बट यू हैव टू वेयर ग्लव्स एंड ऑलवेज बी सेफ्टी प्रिकॉशन। तो another hadith of our sixth Imam alayhi salatu wassalam is the Qala Imam as-Sadiq alayhi salatu wassalam, be careful to have truthful friends. We're talking about सादिक आले मोहम्मद कि जिनका लक़ब अपने जद नामदार हज़रत मोहम्मद मुस्तफ़ा सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम की तरह सादिक है, सादिक आले मोहम्मद कहलाते हैं आप। तो मौला का ये लक़ब है। तो मौला फरमा रहे हैं कि बी केयरफुल टू हैव ट्रूथफुल फ्रेंड्स एंड ट्राई टू ऑब्टेन देम, फॉर दे आर योर सपोर्ट when you are in welfare and your advocator when you have misfortune. So being truthful, क्योंकि हम जानते हैं कि झूठ बोलना जो है वो हराम है, एक इतनी बड़ी इखलाकी बुराई है। और हम मजाक मजाक में भी जो जिसे कहते हैं ना कि अक्सर औकात झूठ बोल जाते हैं, तो वी रियली नीड टू अवॉइड फ्रॉम इस तरह की हर मतलब ज़ाहिर है कि जो आते हैं हमारे अंदर, ये जो इखलाकी बुराइयां पैदा हो जाती है, ये इखलाकी बीमारियां इनको कहते हैं झूठ बोलना। तो बी ट्रूथफुल ऑल द टाइम एंड मेक फ्रेंड्स विद द ट्रूथफुल people. That's the I mean we get from our sixth Imam अलैहिस्सलाम, beautiful hadith। एंड हम इस दुआ के साथ अपने प्रोग्राम का यहाँ पर इख्तिताम करेंगे। उससे पहले मैं डॉक्टर शहरबानो का एक दफ़ा फिर शुक्रिया अदा करूँगी doing such a interactive
pleasure to be here.
and very nice program, and thank you for Mohammed Zain for helping us during the program. He is working behind the camera as Dr. Shahrbano said most of the time, and today he came in the program and we had nice time having him, and thank you for so much for your help. इस दुआ के साथ अपने प्रोग्राम का हम इख्तिताम करेंगे। व्यूअर्स के दुनिया में इस वक्त जो कुछ भी हो रहा है, जाहिर है कि हम उसे उसकी भरपूर मजम्मत करते हैं कि जो कुछ ये सऊदी अरब में स्पेशली हुआ है, शेख निम्र और जो 47 लोगों को वहाँ पर बेजुर्म बेखता वहाँ पर उनको फांसी दे दी गई, उनको कत्ल कर दिया गया, तो डेफिनेटली उसकी हम भरपूर मजम्मत करते हैं इस पूरे वाक़े की। और मौला लबों पे है दुआ, मौला लबों पे है दुआ, देखें ज़हूर नूर का, ए मीर असर करबला कीजिए ज़हूर करबला। वस्सलामु अलैकुम व रहमतुल्लाहि व बरकातुहू। खुदा हाफिज़। जज़ाकल्लाह।